You know those tiny custom icons you see in your browser tabs? It's a small detail, for sure, but man, it makes a website feel so much more professional. Today, we're going to show you exactly how to add one to your own site. It's easier than you think. You see them absolutely everywhere. The little logos for Google, YouTube, Wikipedia, all sitting right there in the tab. So if you've ever been working on your own project and thought, how do I get one of those? Well, you are in the right place. It's surprisingly simple, and we're going to walk through it step by step. So that little icon has a name. It's called a favicon. It's actually short for favorite icon, and its whole job is to be a little visual marker for your website. It helps your site stand out in that sea of open tabs or in a long list of bookmarks. It's a small but honestly a really crucial piece of your site's branding. All right, let's get practical. Before we even think about touching any code, we need to get our image ready to go. This is a super important first step. Okay, there are really just two key things to keep in mind here. First, for the best quality, you want to make sure your image is at least 96 by 96 pixels. And second, and this will make your life much easier in a second, save that image file directly inside your main website folder, right next to your index.html file. Now, the great thing is that you've got a ton of flexibility when it comes to file formats. Modern browsers accept almost anything. You could use a PNG if you need a transparent background, a JPEG is great for photos, or you can even use a scalable SVG. And of course, there's always the classic .ico format. The choice is totally yours. Okay, so our image is prepped and saved. We are ready for the main event. And believe it or not, this entire thing comes down to just a single line of HTML. This is it. This is the magic. This one little self-closing link tag is all you need. You just pop it inside the head section of your HTML file. Its job is to tell your HTML document about an external resource, in this case, our awesome icon image. So let's break down what each little part of this thing does. First up is the rel attribute, which is just short for relationship. By setting rel equals icon, we're basically telling the browser, hey, this thing I'm linking to, it's the icon for this page. This is the key that tells the browser exactly what to do with our image. Next, we've got the type attribute. This one's pretty straightforward. It just tells the browser what kind of file it's about to load. The value here has to match your image format. So if you're using a PNG file, you'd write type equals image/PNG. Using a JPEG, it's type equals image/JPEG. Simple as that. And finally, we have href, which stands for hypertext reference. This is just the path to your image file. Now remember how we saved the icon in the exact same folder as our HTML? Well, that's why we can just put the file name right here. Easy peasy. So let's just do a quick recap of the whole process. 1, you add a link tag to your HTML head. 2, you set its relationship to icon. 3, you define its file type. And 4, you point the href to your image file. That is it. Seriously, refresh your page, and your brand new icon should pop right up in the browser tab. Awesome. Now that you've got the basics down, let's talk about a little pro tip. This is something that will keep your projects super clean and easy to manage, especially as they get bigger. See, as you start building out a bigger website, you'll find you start collecting a lot of images. So to avoid cluttering up your main directory, it's just a best practice to create a dedicated folder, most people just call it images, and put all your visual stuff in there, including your favicon. And the only change you need to make in your code is right here. It's so small. If you move the favicon into an images folder, you just update the href path to include that folder name. So it becomes href equals images/favicon.jpg. Now the browser knows exactly where to look for it. So we've covered the what, the why, and the how. Now it's your turn to put this into practice and try it out on your own projects. And just remember, the big takeaway here is that something as small as a favicon can have a surprisingly huge impact. It instantly makes your site look more complete, more polished, and way more memorable to your users. It really is small detail with a big, big payoff. And that leaves us with a final thought. The favicon is just one example of a super simple HTML tag that adds a ton of value. So it kind of makes you wonder, right? What other small tags or attributes out there do you think pack a really big punch in web development? Keep exploring.